So, coming up next, as we got to move along, because we have a big program that's going to go almost all night long. Well, into the night anyway, let's say. Okay, next we're going to have up here is Rudy Roma from 420 Insight. You can put his bio on, please, real quick. Okay, Rudy Roma is the founder of 420 Insight. He has a very personal story here. He lost his 15-month-old child to cancer, and so he has dedicated his life to informing the world about medical cannabis, because he didn't really realize this until after he lost his child. Okay, and so he's dedicated his entire life now to making sure everybody can find the information, get the information together, and have resources on medical cannabis and doing cancer. And so now what we have is Rudy Roma.
Thank you so much for being here today. It really means a lot. I'm really big on advocating information and content. Really kind of letting people know that there's an alternative. And so, once again, thank you very much for being here. And welcome. Welcome to the benefits of cannabis. Many of you may not know me, but I'm the type of guy that when the alarm turns on, I spring out of bed. I'm full of energy. But that's not the case for many people. Some people maybe have chronic pain and can only sleep 2 to 3 hours a night. Last night, you woke up with another one of those dreadful migraines. Perhaps it was because your joints are stiff and you can barely get out of bed, much less go and walk to the kitchen and get a cup of coffee. So what do? We call the doctor. We go take a visit. And list all the symptoms that we are going through. And the doctor listens to us. He takes down the notes, writes on the computer, and then takes out his handy prescription bag. So this one is for pain. This one is for inflammation. And this one is for the side effects for the first prescription you're taking.
Not that way.
Yeah. So what do? We listen to our doctor. We think he knows better. So what we do is we basically get the prescriptions. We go walk to the pharmacy. They fill the prescriptions. We go home. We open the bag up and we take out a stack of papers that are there. These stack of papers tell us about the medication and the possible side effects. Now, if you're anything like me, when I read these papers, I kind of gloss over them, and I kind of walk over to the garbage, and I just toss them in the garbage. But that's me. So, please excuse me. This is my first time speaking in the conference.
Okay.
You're doing good.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Take 2 hits and call me in the morning.
Yeah.
CBD.
Thank you so much. So each day we take our meds like we're supposed to, and a few weeks later have gone by, and we start to realize that we're not feeling any better. As a matter of fact, you're feeling kind of sort of down, fatigued. You have no energy. So you go back and you explain how you feel to the doctor, and he says, "You're depressed. I have just the thing that's going to fix you and get you right and get you going." So he pulls over to the prescription pad and starts writing 1 and 2. So back to the pharmacy I go, and now after a couple of other pills added to the ones I'm taking, now I'm taking 5. Does this sound similar? Does this sound familiar to a lot of people? Yeah, it does. It happens to a lot of people.
Only 5?
So here's some interesting facts. Anxiety is the most common mental illness among Americans. 40 million adults suffer from mental illness, and that's 18% of Americans. Chronic pain, it's estimated that 26 million adults suffer from pain daily lasting at least 3 months. The other of 17 million who suffer from severe levels of pain daily. That's a total of 43 million people with chronic pain. Depression almost affects more than 15% of American adults. That's almost 7% of the U.S. population. And the list goes on. Did you know that 70% of Americans at least take 1 prescription per day? That's 70% of us take 1 prescription per day. 50% take 2 prescriptions per day. And 20% take 5 or more daily. Over the past years, prescriptions have been on the rise. Now, one would look at that if we're taking all these medications, our health would be better. But in actuality, mental illness has increased, suicides have increased, chronic conditions are more than ever before. What about our life expectancy? It's 78.7 years. Do you think it has increased or decreased? It's actually decreased. So ask yourself this: are you in tune with your body? Are you listening to what your body's telling you? Inflammation is our body's way of telling us that something is going on. I believe it's time we become more accountable to our own health. Is there an alternative? Have you ever considered cannabis as an alternative? There are many ways of consuming cannabis. You don't have to smoke. The methods of consumption have both positive and negative effects. On the positive side, many cannabis products are relieving medical conditions that people suffer from. The negative side is understanding which method works best for their conditions and finding their potency will work. This creates frustration for patients experimenting without any education or guidance. What happens a lot is patients will tend to use too little, and then decide cannabis doesn't work. Or patients take too much, resulting in a state I call confusion high. Let's review the current methods of consumption. We have oral, which are edibles, capsules, oils, usually taken between 1 and 2 hours to take effect. Sublingual, tinctures, sprays, strips under the tongue. We have topicals, balms, creams, salves, patches applied to the skin. Vaporizing, wax, shatter, oils, flour, vaporizers help reduce the respiratory toxins at low temperature. Suppositories bypass the liver and get absorbed through the bloodstream quickly. Smoking, quick and effective way to introduce cannabinoids, but it's the least desirable. So now, what about the benefits of medical cannabis? So we have here raw. You can take a look. So we see THCA. THC has antispasmodic, which reduces muscle spasms in the gut and the intestines and the bladder, and that's the acidic form. So THCA, THC, and CBDA are both anti-cancerous, anti-inflammatory, and anti-emetic, which means nausea and vomiting. Prevents that. Next slide. THC, analgesic. Placed on there's some sprays that I have that I currently know of. That when we spray on the affected area, within a few minutes the pain goes away. It's amazing. Antibacterial, it's anti-cancerous, anti-inflammatory, anti-emetic, antispasmodic. It's an appetite stimulant. So for those people who had cancer or who are having difficulty eating, it makes you hungry. It's a bronchial dilator, and it's a neuroprotectant. As we go through CBD, which is really important, it's anti-anxiety, anti-convulsive, antipsychotic. It's a bone stimulant, helps regrow the bone. It's an anti-emetic, which means improving the blood flow to the heart. It's like an aspirin, a beta blocker, or a nitrate. It's antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancerous. It's a neuroprotectant. Now, I want to share with you, I have some very dear friends that I spoke to before coming, and I asked them if they wouldn't mind me sharing with their story. And the first person is Brandon Daly. One day, Brandon decides to go to the doctor after having several weeks of excruciating pain, bad-headed migraine. The doctor, of course, runs a battery of tests and scans, and then tells him that he wants him to be hospitalized for emergency surgery in the morning. Brandon's diagnosed with glioblastoma. Well, they were only able to take out 95% of the tumor. Growth was inevitable. So he began chemo. He actually had 3 rounds, but it had to stop. His body couldn't keep it down. But during this time, Brandon took the ball in his hand and started doing research. And he started doing research on cannabinoids and cancer. After doing the extensive research, he decided to begin a regimen of high CBD for his inflammation and high THC for the anti-cancerous properties. What was the results? Happy to say Brandon is celebrating 5 years cancer-free. His recent tests showed absolutely no cancer. As maintenance, Brandon continues a daily therapeutic protocol. Now that's what I call benefits of cannabinoid therapy. Next, I would like to introduce to you a very dear friend and the most inspiring woman I've ever met outside of my wife and Dr. Tammy, of course. Please wait, baby. Well, we'll get back to that. I apologize. Well, I'm a little bit about myself. I'm the founder of 420 Inside, both Awaken America Cannabis conferences, and I also own a distribution company called Greenway Distribution. And over the last 3.5 years, I've really taken the time and liberty to really kind of immerse myself in this industry for many reasons. One of my inspirations is my daughter. She was diagnosed at 8 months old with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, at which point she'd undergone chemotherapy, radiation, spinal taps. At the 14th month, there was nothing. Her white blood count was, there was nothing that they could do, so they put her on hospice. And it was the last two. So for 2 weeks she still was nauseated, not feeling well. But it was the last 2 weeks of her life where she started to smile, she started walking, she started being the life. And I had my daughter back. And what the result was the chemo was coming out of her system. So after the second week of her enjoying some quality of life, she ended her life. We lost her. So it's not. So my thing is, it's not about.
Hi, my name is.
Well, I'm not saying that cannabis would have helped her. However, I've met several young children who have used cannabis, and some in addition to chemotherapy, some just cannabis oil by itself, and they're in remission, which is a remarkable thing. Now, it's just letting people now have the opportunity to hear and share her experience, their experience, and see where and how cannabis can actually work for each individual. Okay.
Jessica Wilson, and I am from Tampa, Florida. I now live in Oregon. I'm a medical cannabis patient here in Oregon. I am a brain injury survivor of a quarter of a century that has had uncontrolled epilepsy for 23 years. I was evaluated for brain seizure surgery twice and turned down. I was evaluated for the vagal nerve stimulator twice and turned down. And I took 19 different anti-epileptic drugs, and none of them controlled